Hey everyone, this is Robin Pike with Crafty Stamper. Today I want to show you a new suite that we have, and it's called the, Sunflower Fields. This is some of the paper here, and you get 2 sheets of each for a total of 12 sheets. And this I've already cut into. I've been kind of playing around with some of it. And this, that's another pattern that we have. I love this pattern here. I love all the fall colors. And so here's another pattern. We have this bright, cheerful one here with the yellow sunflowers. And then you've got this sheet here. And then this here. And isn't that pretty? I love that. I love the colors in that. So let's flip over and we'll look at the back side of it. So here's another design here. Got your stripes here. And then you've got what looks like a graph with little dots, little specks all in it. Then you've got this one with the little dots all over it. You've got this one here. And then we have this paper here. And I think those are really nice. I got this out today. I'm going to kind of go over. Let me move this out of the way. So today when I first got started, my supplies came in. So I grabbed my plastic container. I put my paper in here, which it comes. I always take my paper and I put it in a this little plastic envelope here. And then I put my DSP in it. And then I put my stamp sets here. And I always combine them together. I take our little sleeve here, as you know, or maybe you don't, maybe you're new to stamping. So we have the dies and we have the stamp set, and they always send it in different envelopes. You have these right here. So I always combine them, and I just put the dies on one side, and then I face the stamp set on this side. That way, no matter which way I'm looking at it, I can look at it this way or flip it over, and I see this, the stamp set. So you see the dies and the stamp set. So that's the way I start out. Once they get to me, then I combine these two together, and that kind of saves on storage space too. So I have a lot of these little sleeves. Then this is the ribbon that we got. Let me show you this. I've already opened it. It's just the gingham ribbon. I can't tell if it's, I need to look to see if it's Mossy Meadow. Let me see. Yeah, it's Mossy Meadow and Very Vanilla. And it looks like it's about 1/4 of an inch. Not sure if it tells that on here or not. Yep, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so we've got that. This come with a suite. And then we're going to be needing this today. It's out of the banners that we have, the party banners. Okay, and these are the embellishments that come with it. Let's go ahead and get these cut open. I'm going to cut it from the side. It's just the way I prefer to do it. You can open it up from the top if you want to, and then this just slides out. And so that's our embellishments that we have. And all of this, if you do get the suite, all of this comes together. Your ribbon, your embellishments, your DSP, your dies, and your stamp set. And then this is some of my cardstock. I went ahead and I pulled it. And then I pulled the two-tone cardstock. And all of this, the way I did this is I looked on the back of the DSP, and it tells you all the colors that is in this set. So we've got Cajun Craze, Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Golden Glow, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive. It says Peach Pie, but that is an error. And it should be Pumpkin Pie. And Secret Sea. And so then from there, I decided I was going to go ahead and get my two-tone cardstock and I was going to put it in here because I want to play around with this today. I'm not just going to create, well, I'm going to create one card for you, but I'm going to be playing around with it for a little while, for maybe several days. So I wanted to put everything together. That way it makes it easier for me to have everything in one place. I don't have to go searching for it. I don't have to go to my stamp sets and or my pads and start pulling stamp pads, because I've got those ready. I've got my markers ready, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But here's some more paper that comes with the set, and it's Radiant Falls, and it's a specialty designer series paper. And this is what it looks like. And it's just one-sided. And then you've got this with the stripes. And then you've got this pattern here with the sunflowers. And the sunflowers on this one right here, if you use your die cut, let's see, I believe it's this one right here. Make sure, yeah, this one. We'll cut out these sunflowers on here. So see, you can see that lines up perfectly with that. So you can get, you can cut the sunflowers out of that. And then here is the inside of our dies. And I'm going to be using this today, this little pipe. And then this little stem with the leaf on it. And then I'm going to be stamping a flower. And I think I'll be cutting it out. Let's see. Yes, it's going to be, let me see which one it is. I think it's this one right here. This one is the one I'm going to be using. I think that's it anyway. I'm taking a, I'm going to go ahead and set this over to the side, but I'm just, this is another thing that I like to do. When I get a stamp set, I like to play around with it. And I usually go to the catalog for inspiration, just to kind of help me. So until I can kind of get the groove and see, you know, working with and how they've used it. That gives me ideas, and that gives me a starting point. So that's what I'm going to do today. I can't show you the catalog yet, not till it goes live, but I can make the card and I can show you the card and we can talk about it. So I've got my catalog put way over to the side because I don't want to mess up, and I'll show it to you. So that would be easy to do, just to grab it. Okay, so here are my stamp colors that I'm going to be using. So we've got Secret Sea, we've got Early Espresso, I've got Daffodil Delight, I've got Cajun Craze, got Pumpkin Pie, Old Olive, Mossy Meadow, and Golden Glow. So I've got those already. I pulled those and I put them in this little container here. That keeps it, it's just easy to get to them. Then I've got my markers here, the blends, and I pulled all the colors that I pulled with the stamp set. I've got all of them here. So everything is right here with me. So I don't have to go pulling everything. And it's just right here close. So that's a good thing. I already have enough time keeping up, hard enough time keeping up with my glue and my scissors and stuff. So if I can make it easy on myself, then that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get an 8.5 by 11 piece of Cajun Craze. And here I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4. Now you could do it the other way. You could do 8.5 by 5.5 and score it at 4 1/4. But I'm going to make it this way today. And then we're going to score at 5 1/2. Okay. And then I'm going to get my bone folder and we're going to give this a good burnish. Okay. So then we're going to pull this paper here, but I'm going to use this side of the paper. And this, just from the picture in the catalog, it looks like it's going to be 5 1/4, and we may have to adjust some of this. 5 1/4 by 4. And then I'm going to kind of put it at an angle like this. And we could probably cut this down just a tad bit more. Let me go ahead and do that, because it looks like it might be a little bit, not that small. We're not going to change it that much. I was looking at the wrong end. Okay, so let's just do, we'll do 5, and then we're going to take this and we're going to make it at 3 3/4 and see how much room that gives us. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. You can see that gives it more room. You have a little bit more room around the edges of it. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so the next thing I did, I was looking at it. It calls for this party banner. And this party banner, let me see which one it is. It is actually the 1, 2, 3, the 4th one from the smallest one. So the 4th from the smallest one. And it's this right here. So I took it, and the way I came up with which size it actually was that they showed on their catalog is I took it, and they have this piece here that is in behind a white piece that I'm going to emboss. And I looked at it and noticed how much they had on each side and the top for the DSP back here. So you're going to have your white piece on here, and I looked to see how much on the measurements that I had around through here. And so I went from there and decided how much I needed to cut this to. So this banner is 3 1/8 by 2 3/8. So then I decided, okay, with the measurements that I need to have going around through here, I decided that 4, because this is what I want it to look like. I want this white to be this close to the edge. I want it to have that much space at the top, that much here, and that much going down here. So when I put this on here, then I decided, I looked over here and I decided, okay, I want this to be 4 because that would have a measurement for here. And then 3 going across here. So that's how I decided on what size my DSP needed to be. So I hope that makes sense. So this is going to go on top here, like, and then we're going to take this and I'm going to die cut it, and I'm going to use some white cardstock. And let me get a scrap piece here, and let me go ahead and cut that down some. Then we're going to get our cut and emboss machine up here. And then we're just going to put this here and get this die cut. Okay. And then this is going to go on here like this. Okay. So that's what we've got going so far. So let's go ahead. Let's move this out of the way. And here, I'm going to get the stamp set. because we have enjoy that I need to put on a block and get it stamped. And it's done in Secret C. So I'm going to ink this up. And since these are new, that looks pretty good. So I think we're good to go with that. I thought I might have to wipe it off or something, but it looks good there. And so here we're just going to enjoy right here. Okay. So that's what we have so far. And I'll set this aside and I'll clean it off a little later. And let's move that. So then here, we're going to put this here. So let's go ahead and let's start putting all of this together. You could use glue or you could use your Stampin' Seal or your Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. I do live in Alabama, so things kind of get, it's always hot and muggy. So I always need to use something a little bit stronger. Okay, we're just going to put this down. And then this is going to go kind of at an angle like this. Okay. And then this is going to be popped up on dimensionals. And it's going to have more of a straight look on it. So it's going to be like this. So I can go ahead and I can put this up on dimensionals because the other part that we're going to be doing is we're going to be coloring and using the die cut machine to cut a few more out. I kind of want to stick one right down in here, maybe one in the center. Okay, so that should be good. So let's take the backings off. I love these, and I'm ready for fall colors. All right, so here we're just going to just kind of this straight up like that. Okay, so that looks good. Let's see, I think I might need to move it up just a tad. I think that's a little too low. Let's see if I've got this straight. Yes, that looks good. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. Okay, so our next thing that we're going to be doing is I need to cut, we need to do this here. This is our vase here that we have, our little pot, whatever you want to call it. I need that. I need this leaf. Let's see, I think it's this leaf here. Let me make sure about my leaves here. Let me see. No. Okay. This, let me start all over with this. So I'm going to use that. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to get this flower. I'm going to stamp it, and then I'm going to use this die cut, and it's going to cut this out. Okay. So that's where we're heading right now. Then I've got this. This is part of a butterfly. And here's our little butterfly here. And I'm going to stamp it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on a block. And I'm going to put our flower on a block. And then we are going to go ahead and we're just going to move these out of the way, kind of clean up our area. There we go. So it's not so messy. And then I'm going to get another, let's see here. This paper right here will do. So this black cardstock here. Now you could use that fluid paper 100 if you wanted to, because we're going to do a little watercoloring, but I think everything will be fine because we're not going to get everything soaking wet. So let me see which brush I want to use. All right, so here I'm going to stamp this in the Memento ink. Okay, and that looks good. And then I'm going to do the butterfly. Just going to put it over this way. Let's try that one more time. That one didn't come out very clear. I think I matched too hard on it. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, you can see the difference. I mashed a little too hard on that one, and you can see where it kind of made it fuzzy. But this is much clearer. And then we've got this. Okay, so we're through with those. I'm going to put those aside. I'm going to close up this. Then, looks like they used Secret C. Let me see. This is like Secret C for the butterfly. Okay, we've got that. And now we're going to get Old Olive. And we're going to get some of the Daffodil Delight. And I'm trying to decide. Let me look at this picture a little bit closer. Looks like, I think I'm going to just go on my own on this one. It looks like they could have used, I'm not seeing a lot of the pumpkin pie on there, so they could have used the Golden Glow and mixed it with the Daffodil Delight. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm just going to go my way with it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is stamp up the Daffodil Delight. I wish I could show you the picture of it. That way you kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's move this paper out of the way. I don't need it right here. All right, I got my little watercolor painter here. I need to put get some water going on here. All right. We're just going to kind of go around through here. And I don't want to spend a lot of time around the stamped area because when you're using the lighter colors, it will bleed a little bit. So using this Daffodil Delight up against the black, it will kind of give it a dingy look instead of a bright, pretty look. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can kind of see, let's see, right. You can kind of see up in here and right over in here where it's kind of dirty looking. All right, so then I'm going to take the pumpkin pie and I'm going to water it down really good. And I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't mess it up. So I'm going to water it down real good. I'm going to make it very light. That's my plan. So I'm going to go ahead and color this ugly part up. Still didn't cover it up too much. All right. I'm going to wipe that off there. That's one of those where I could have given it a little bit longer to dry. I didn't. But you still get what I'm talking about. And I've told you what to do to avoid that. Okay, so we've got that there. That totally bothers me. Okay, I'm going to try it one more time. I don't want it to be messed up. I'm going to know exactly what to do. But still, if I'm putting a card together, I want it to look good. So let's try it one more time. If this don't work out, I won't fool with it no more. I won't make you go through it. I won't make you step through it a third time. Okay. So I'm going to kind of blow over it. I'm going to try to avoid the area as much as I can. Okay. I get real quiet when I'm sitting here doing this. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, now let's go and get some of the pumpkin pie. Let's just kind of go around through here. And one thing about using the watercolors, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to make sure that every square inch of the white is covered. I'm darkening that just a bit. Okay, I think that looks good. I am happy with that. So let's go ahead and close these up. And then we're going to go ahead and do our leaf and get it done. Let me clean this off real good. I should have had a paper towel in here. All right, so let's get Old Olive going. And then I'm going to stick it over here and just kind of darken it up a little bit. And then this. Okay. And I am happy with that. This looks a lot better than this. That just looks nasty, but that looks a lot better. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take just a second to put the dryer on this, because I don't want it to smear when it goes through the cut and emboss machine. Okay. And that should be perfect. So let's go ahead and let's get this cut. And I'm going to get my Post-it tape. And I'm going to put everything down. Let's see. It'd help if I turned it on the right side. So here we go. And then we're going to do the little butterfly. I think that little butterfly is just so precious. So cute. All right. So here we have our butterfly. It's a teeny one too. Okay, so then I need, let me see. I'm going to open this up. You know what? I think trying to decide if I want to use, I think I'm just going to go with this. I thought about using just regular cardstock to make for my vase, or the little pot, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, to hold my to cut and emboss on this. I'll get it out in a minute. I don't really like for it to be that thin, so let me get a thicker piece of cardstock. I think I'm gonna like that a lot better. Okay, so here I'm just going to cut this down. Okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and run these through. I'm going to put it like that, and that will save. And you get 2 out of it. So that's really good. Okay. So let's get our emboss machine back up. We're going to put this through, and I don't know if we've got enough room to put this through or not. Yeah, it looks good. Just make sure I didn't move that, because I tossed it to the side. All right, let's hope that got it. Okay, I think that's the one. Put this on it very carefully, and we'll run it through and hope for the best. Okay, look at these, how cute. I love those. Okay. Let's take this off. And then this is going to sit in this. Isn't that cute? I think you're going to be really surprised and very happy with all the new products that we have. And look at our little butterfly, and he's cute. You know what's going to make him and this other cuter? It's when we're gonna put some Wink of Stella on there, because you got to have some Wink of Stella. That just makes everything pop, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and let's put this up. Straighten this out here. Okay. And then here, I need to get a blending brush. And I need to get me a small one, if I can find one. Let me see. I think I'm going to use this one. I think it had some brown on it probably before. So here I'm going to take, I don't think I want to take early espresso, and I think I want to take pumpkin pie. So let me get it, and we're just going to kind of darken this up just a little bit. Probably don't need to, but I think it might just help it a little bit. We'll go around the edges of it. So there, that's the difference. It's very subtle, but you can see the difference that it makes. It just gives it a little different look, I think I can tell it. I hope you can anyway. Okay. So that's good. I'm happy with that. Just kind of darkened up those edges. All right. Let's move this to the side and this to the side. All right, so let's finish putting this together. All right, so here it looks like they have put this up on dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a dimensional here, and I'm going to put one here. You know what? I don't think I need one that close up to the top, because the flower, the stem is actually going to sit like this. So I don't want it to be that far down. Okay, so from here, I'm going to take a glue dot, and that's how we're going to hold this on. So let me get a glue dot. And I'm just going to put it right down here at the bottom. And I put it on like this. I put it on the front because I'm going to stick this to the base. And it's going to look like that. So from here, I'm going to take my Wink Stella. I don't know if this is my new one or my old one. It looks like it's got some good Wink Stella in there. It's coming out, so that's a good thing. Sometimes they get low and then I can't get anything in. Okay. All right, so that's what it looks like here. I don't know if you can see the little shine. I can really see it. But it is there. Let's put that back on there. Okay, and then this is going to go right up here. I should have put a dimensional in behind the flower. So let me go ahead and get that done. All right, so that is done there. So now my next thing, put a little Wink Stella on our butterfly. And get him looking all fancy. You can see it there. And then we're going to pop him up. Let's get a little piece of a dimensional here. Actually, it looks pretty big, so we could at least, I don't know if we can, let's don't do a whole one, but let's do a half of that. So let's just take one of these pieces here. See if that's good enough. I think that's going to get it. Okay, and then this is going to go right here. And let me see, that's a little crooked there. I need to straighten him up. Okay, we've got that. And then I need my ribbon, because I need to put a piece right underneath here. It's just going to tuck in here. It's going to tuck in right in there. So let's take another glue dot. Okay. And then that's going to hold these two down. And then I need another glue dot. It didn't come off. And then we're going to put this piece right here underneath. And then that's going to want to kind of give it a little poof right there. I think it could actually slide under here just a tad bit more. Oops. I'll come back out. I actually should have put this down before I put the little banner down. Now it's all fixed. Okay, so let me see. Looks like that is all we've got on this. Now I can go ahead and finish the card, and we can put a piece of cardstock inside it. Go ahead and move that away. And get the paper trimmer. And we're just going to do 5 1/4 by 4. And then we're just going to put this on the inside of it. Now we could take a piece of hairdo. We could take some of our DSP, and we could put a little piece of it down at the bottom if we wanted to. We could stamp something if we wanted to. There's tons of things we could do. But I think today, for right now, I'm just going to leave it like this. And so I think that turned out really good. I think that's a very cute card. And I hope you enjoyed it. So with that being said, I'm going to get off here, and I've got a lot of playing around that I want to do. I want to start creating and getting ready for a kit to go using this set. So hopefully maybe in August, I will be able to have all of that ready for you. And if you want to get a jump start on your fall cards, then you could go ahead and get started next month. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.